What's up guys, and welcome back. So today we're looking at Evolve's only electric mountain board, the lightest electric skateboard on the market currently, designed for off-road trail riding. But the question is it any good? Woo! Yeah. Now this is where the Evolve Renegade really shines for a skate park or mild off-roading. So somewhere like here with the skate park and mild off-road would be absolutely perfect to kind of demonstrate what this board can do. If you're looking for a board that kind of locks you in and experience e-skate in a whole different way, then you want to check out the Evolve Renegade, because this board is designed for fun, gnarly off-road adventuring and some extreme riding. Whee! And having this board for like grassy off-road trail riding is an absolute joy. Having a board that's lightweight, compact and easy to jump is really essential. You wouldn't want to put a massive battery on this board to increase that rider weight, because doing like jumps and stuff like that wouldn't be feasible with a higher weighted battery. It's better to have that kind of sleek aesthetic design and have a really soft jumping and landing sequence with a board that is lighter and not heavier and is suitable for more day-to-day use. This is more of like an urban assault board more than anything. Yes, you can do off-road trail riding, but this really shines in an urban assault environment. Now the charger that comes with this board will charge this board from dead in about 3.5 to 4 hours. Now I wish that charger was a little bit higher voltage, because it's a 5 amp charger, but for some reason it takes 3.5 to 4 hours. If we could just knock a simple hour off that and compact it to 3, this board would be absolutely perfect. Now this segment's quickly on to the biggest variable that's different with this board compared to any board Evolve has made before. As you can see, that this deck is actually a carbon fiber deck which has a flex to it. Now this is completely different to the carbon series of the Diablo or even the GTR. This deck is actually designed to give flex, which is very, very important for gnarly off-road trail riding and jumping. It allows the deck and the enclosure to bow and conform to the harshness of off-road trail riding, jumping and landing. Now this deck is actually 95 centimeters long or 37.5 inches in length. And what I like about this deck is it actually has the wings to lock your feet in. Not only are you locked in by these absolutely fantastic bindings, but it also locks you with the wings of these deck. And as a first time Evolve making a mountain board, this deck is absolutely outstanding. And next up, I want to talk about the wheels. Now what's different about this mountain board compared to most mountain boards is that most mountain boards kind of stick with an 8-inch tire setup. Now the wheel choice for this board are actually 7 inches or 175 millimeters in size. This means that these wheels are part of what I like to call the Evolve ecosystem. So if you don't like the knobbly tires and you want more slick tires, you can get that from Evolve. Or if you want to change the hub configuration, Evolve has a wide range of different hub options available to you. So it means that you can really configure this board to make it your own. This board would look weird if you had 8-inch massive knobbly tires on it. 7 inches are perfect for urban assault, mild off-road, and just kind of living with. If you had those bigger tires, it would add so much more weight, which wouldn't add any value to the board. But 7 inches is good. Now, if I'm talking about weight and portability, this is something that's really important. This board actually only weighs 16.5 kilograms, which is an average weight for a 12S 4P board, but it's seriously underweight when it comes to an electric mountain board. Now this unlocks a lot more kind of features that other e-boards just simply can't do. Having a lighter board with that battery enables you to kind of do those jumps, those pump tracks, a lot more easier without that leg burn that you're going to get with most other mountain boards. Now, one thing that's different about this board is that it's the first ever Evolve they've ever had with not double kingpin trucks. The trucks that are based on this are the first ever mountain board trucks. Now these trucks are 15.5 inches wide and have an axle of 8mm, which conforms to most electric skateboards nowadays. Now one thing that surprised me about the bushing option for these trucks is actually they're using spring bushings, which is something I didn't expect from Evolve. Personally, for a mountain board, my favourite kind of bushing option would be barrels. So I'm kind of split if I like the springs or not. They work as a fundamental, but if it was me, I'd potentially upgrade them to something like a barrel system. This would ensure that these trucks stay consistent when you're carving. And as always with all Evolve boards nowadays, the trucks are built to perfection and forged and CNC'd to have a really nice finish. What I like about these trucks is that they are a matte black finish. I don't normally like the matte glossy finish, but they are actually teasing different colorways on the giveaways and also the one-off custom builds they are doing at Evolve Labs. I've seen some red ones, I've seen some purple ones, and it's nice to see that Evolve are experimenting with different colorways. I just think they should kind of open up to the community and give them those options to maybe have their own truck system. What's nice about these trucks as well is they're actually paired with a all-new adaptive bash guard system, which they have on some of the other boards like the Diablo and the GTR. The difference between those bash guards and this one is that it's much wider to fit those wider trucks. But that grab handle is super convenient, and you can't underestimate a board that has a grab handle that's comfortable in the hand and very much over-engineered for the purpose of electric mountain boarding. And another thing about this board is actually the largest board that Evolve has ever made. Now the wheelbase of this board is actually 96.5 centimeters long or 38 inches, which is not overly massive in the e-skate industry, but it's definitely the largest board that Evolve has ever made. But I just want to highlight again about this deck, there's such a good rebound with the enclosure and the deck combining together. That is something that's really hard to do with a mountain board. And what's different about the battery, which I'll talk about in a moment, is that the battery is actually undermounted of the board. Most mountain boards actually have the battery mounted above, and this is one of the first ones I've seen that's designed for off-road riding with the battery that's underneath. And now one thing you can say about Evolve is they've been in this industry for a very long time.
It's been 84 years.
And they've really refined their products over the years. And what I like about this new generation of the Diablo series is the new Evolve ESC, which means that this board is smooth over the entire power curve of the board. Whee! And this is one thing Evolve has spent most of the time doing, having a true reading of the ESC. And the Evolve ESC in this board is one of the smoothest ESCs I have ever ridden. And another thing that bindings allow you to do is make those super sharp turns. Now you can't do that with any other Evolve. Yes, with the double kingpins, they're actually really good. But however, with the bindings, you can actually use the full deck qualities and your full foot when you're pushing into those cars. You can push and almost hang off the board, knowing that you're strapped in to keep that support. So you can really get the deepest, tightest turns possible out of any Evolve board out there. Now, what's powering this board is a 12S 4P configuration. Now the motors that are paired with this board are 6374 motors with a total watt-hour potential output of 7,000 watts or 3,500 watts each for this motor spec. What's nice about these motors is that they actually have a cooling function incorporated in them. There are actually some slightly small holes in the outside of the motor, so as they spin up they keep themselves cool. Now, is there enough power? Seeing this massive mound here? Let's find out. Easy. Yeah, and that is plenty enough power for this board. I wouldn't want any larger motor for this board, but the specs on the motors for this board are plenty enough power to get up a big mound like that with ease. This board just eases hills, so let's go again. Easy. Now a bit more information about that battery. Now the battery itself is a 43.2 volt battery and has a watt hour capacity of 864 watt hours with a 20 amp hour total capacity. Now the cell of choice that they are using, the Samsung 21700 cells, which are a standard nowadays, using the 50S Samsung cells, which is the biggest electric skateboard battery Evolve has ever made commercially. One thing I would like Evolve to have the option of doing, because it's a undercarriage mounted system, it'd be amazing if we could combine like a second battery or a larger, bigger battery to make it a 12S 8P, just for the consumers to decide what's suitable for them. You'd obviously have to increase the wheel size to an 8-inch tyre, but you give an opportunity for flexibility for the customer, which is kind of nice. So who is this board for? I believe this board is for an outdoor adventurist, urban assault vehicle as such, or someone who's looking for a bit of a hybrid of the both. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the Evolve Phase remote, which is an improvement of the original R2 remote. Is it all the way there yet? Not in my opinion. It feels really nice and premium in the hand, but that CNC housing is really, really good. But that glass screen, I've already chipped mine already, only slightly. It is robust and it is designed to take a bashing, but that glass screen is a fail point. They need to get stronger, thicker glass for the remote hub. Now the advertised range of this board is 31 miles and a top end of 31 miles an hour on the top speed. Now from my testing, those numbers don't necessarily reflect my testing. Now I am a heavier rider over 100 kgs. I am getting on off-road riding, hard riding only in winter with my heavier rider weight about 8 to 9 miles on heavy off-road riding. That's trying to drain this battery as quickly as possible, which gave me some concerns, because when I took this board to Paris, I was worried about my range throughout the ride, but actually I was getting 23 to 24 miles quite easily on an urban setting. Now that, once again, I wasn't riding economical, I was shredding the board, jumping, going a little bit of dirt riding in an urban environment, and a variety of different riding styles. But overall, on an urban setting, you could expect 23 to 24, maybe even more, depending on your rider weight or rider style and weather conditions, even more range than that. But 31 miles an hour top speed, I'm getting more about the 25 to 26 mile an hour on the top speed from my AT riding. But I think that's a little bit of a bold claim in my opinion. So what are some of the good points and areas of improvement for this board? First of all, I want to say one thing I really love about the board is its power to weight ratio. One thing I've kind of thought about this year more and more from e-skating is more nimble, lightweight boards. I love, don't get me wrong, I love my Cali, my Bio board and all those heavy performance beasts. But it's a choice to take those out. They are big, they're heavy, they're cumbersome, and they're not really built for an urban setting. This board is. And the next kind of thing I would say that kind of needs to be improved for me for this board is thicker glass for the remote, because it is way too thin for off-road riding. You need something thicker and stronger. Now all this is well and good, but how much does this board cost? Now this board currently retails for £1,999 for an AT 12S 4P board. Now in my opinion, I feel that is a little bit steep for the performance that you are getting. However, what you do get is international worldwide support. This board is designed for urban and off-road trail riding. So you're going to get 2-in-1 with this board, but you get a whole lot of board for those trail riding, customizing opportunities, and having UK support and international support is a must when you're riding these expensive electric vehicles. Just want to say I actually featured the original Renegade on my channel, and this board with the Diablo series with that all new ESC makes a significant difference in the power to performance ratio. And that is everything from today. So if you're looking for an AT ultralight, gnarly urban assault vehicle, then you might want to check out the Evolve Renegade. And what's nice about Evolve, with the international stores, you might be able to go in and do a demo day to try out for yourself to find out if it is right for you. Anyway, that's everything for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop a like, because there's so much coming on the channel that you might want to subscribe. And as always, stay safe. I'll see you guys real soon.